Ooh, guess what? We made a game, and it's called Bread Rolls, and it's an expansion to an existing game called Sandwich Masters. And if you like this show, you can support us by heading over to Kickstarter to check it out, link in the description.
In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Hello and welcome to a show called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Chris.
I'm Nick.
Oh.
I'm Nick.
Oh, I'm Nick. I'm jolly old Nick.
Oh,
From the yonder.
Oh, goodbye everyone.
Oh, I'm off now.
I'm off to my home planet.
Nick died on his way back to his home planet.
Yeah, it's just
No Nick.
no Nick. Two out of three ain't bad.
2 out of 3 is very good for an 89th try. If that's what we're on.
Yeah, 89 would
Is-
that'd be like an A plus, wouldn't it?
In a
Grading
system.
If it were being graded.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't quite know what the threshold is, but yeah. How are we? It's hard to say.
I guess you kind of asked and answered it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Thank you. Let's move on.
It's been a week, hasn't it? It's been a fortnight.
Been a hell of a fortnight.
There's been a lot going on, yeah.
There's been, well, a lot going on and yet nothing going on.
Yes.
We've been isolating.
We've been isolating.
Are we going to talk about this? From the off?
Well, you've brought it up now, haven't
Yeah,
you?
it's too late now.
Well, we kind of left last episode on a cliffhanger where we were about to go on your stag.
Yes, I have survived.
And then seen missing.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I mean, like, if one of us was going to die on the stag, I didn't imagine it would be Nick, to be honest.
No, well, there we are. Especially after the amount I drank.
Yeah, have you drunk much post-stag?
I have not.
No.
No, I have not.
Well, cheers, by the way.
Cheers, all the best.
the
I am
best,
now.
yeah.
I'm drinking a lovely Doom Bar now.
Yeah.
But not much at all since the stag, no.
Yeah. You it was good.
We had a good time.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. You may also have been possibly the drunkest I've ever seen you.
Thank you.
Not my doing,
No,
I want to say.
no, it was a combination of my own free will and others chucking shots at me.
It was a combination of your it was mostly your desire to please.
Yeah.
I just want to be popular.
Yeah. I just want the people to like me. Yeah, there was a bit of that.
Yeah. And I guess the real kind of headline, the takeaway thing is that despite all the precautions we put in place,
Yeah.
we tried to make it very safe, very secure.
Well, and I think the next part of what we talk about will prove that you did.
Well, we got a ping, didn't we?
We got a ping. Someone on the stag, sadly for them and us, tested positive when they got home. Like the minute they got home. They told us before we got pinged so we could react swiftly to the situation, which we did.
So arguably, they didn't get it at the stag.
Oh, I don't think so.
No, what I'm saying is, what's the consistent factor here? As soon as they got home, they had corona.
They got it at home.
Yeah.
Well,
You need
maybe.
to-
We
you
can't dismiss that entirely.
need to move out, don't you?
We need to burn that flat.
Whoever you're living with, I think they should ask some very harsh questions
Yeah.
of themselves.
But he got a ping, and he did have
did.
it, sadly for him. But he's fine now.
Yeah.
And we all isolated in line with government guidelines.
We did.
And none of us got it.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, and it's just weird, isn't it? Because like we've both kind of emerged blinking from our
Well, I only left
our
the
cocoons.
house properly today.
Yes.
Properly, anyway. I've been walking the dog out the back yesterday, but beyond that, I have not been to a supermarket for 2 weeks. I've not done lots of stuff for 2 weeks.
No, I've
Best part of.
I've mowed the front lawn and the back lawn.
Where they look lovely.
It was kind of like I kind of imagined it was a lot like having being under house arrest or having like an ankle bracelet. Because I think my understanding is I've yet to be arrested. They haven't caught me yet, bastards.
No.
But like,
Come at me.
but I imagine, it's like they put like a barrier around your property and,
Yeah.
and you're allowed to go on your lawn.
Geotag it.
Yeah, but I was kind of like I was imagining like, oh, if I step over,
Yeah.
oh,
The feds will show up.
flirting with danger.
5 police cars immediately converge on the house.
But also a seagull, a seagull couple have started nesting on our roof, and that's the greatest deterrent.
I was on my approach to your house. The first thing I heard was squawking seagulls.
Yeah, the sound of the sea is very relaxing. Actually.
And then I got a shell, and I pulled it to my ear.
The thing is, they're dive bombing. You know, it was maybe the best week to stay indoors that you could
Because
imagine.
they're having a pop at people.
Yeah, they were dive bombing.
Have they dive bombed you this week?
They've gotten close.
Yeah, I got dive bombed by a seagull once when I tried to help its what's the young seagull called? Chick?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. And it came right at me. It was going to hit me. I had to jump in the car and drive off. And I regret running over the chick now, if I'm honest.
No,
I did not run over the chick, for clarity.
You know, and I know that that school trip were all screaming for help, but you were right to leave them. That's just dead weight.
Well, you know, if they're not going to contribute.
And when the tide came in, anyway. I mean,
as for your grandma, she shouldn't have mouthed off like that. Oh dear.
So yeah, we've and you're also, I believe, getting married.
Now I remember.
Yes,
I am getting married. Still a week or so to go.
yes.
But yeah, that's happening.
And that's not hyperbole. That's not like, it's a week away. It is actually pretty much like a week away.
Yeah, it's a week and 9 days.
9 days, yeah.
9 days, exactly.
Wow.
In 9 days from now, hopefully we will be, just relaxing outside.
So I'm sure,
Chilling,
like,
relaxing all cool.
out of all the things you'd like on your agenda, kind of going into wedding planning,
Sure.
I kind of imagine that like a COVID scare and isolating is not high
That
on
wasn't
that list.
high on my list. However, if we're going to take the positive, pun intended, then it's that it sharpened minds. Let's say that.
Certainly sharpened my nose.
Yeah. And the fact that we were with a guy, and there's no doubt about it, he had coronavirus. He's had it since. And we were with him all weekend and we didn't get it, I think is a good thing and should be celebrated for A, your safety protocols, and B, let's say the vaccine.
Let's say the vaccine. And probably the alcohol.
Yes.
Probably
I'm
quite
perfectly smooth on the inside now.
Probably quite sterile.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Yeah, I have to say that it was a bad week to quit cocaine because my nasal cavity is
Certainly if you're a football fan as well.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, like doing all those LFD tests.
It got very irritating.
Yeah,
to be honest, I'd only ever done 1 or 2 before the stag, and I've done maybe
50.
Yeah, honestly,
yeah.
I'm not kidding about that now.
Yeah, it's because thankfully my hay fever finally died down.
Good.
The stag was a nice break from the hay fever, actually.
It was the right combination of elements, I'd say, to avoid the hay fever.
No,
because we were in quite a big outdoor grassy area.
Yes, believe me, I was worried. I was like, this is going to be a nightmare, but it's wonderful.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it just shows I'm clearly only allergic to this county
Must
that
be.
I call home.
To be fair, Nick was the closest to injuring himself on the very first night.
Yes.
When he fell off a zip wire.
Now, admittedly, it was... okay, so to set the scene, it was like a kind of isolated property. Very serial... would be a good kind of slasher movie.
It would be an
sort of
excellent
thing.
place to hide a body.
Indeed, yes.
For sure.
17 guys came in.
Yeah.
16.
How many left? I don't know.
And it came with an outdoor... I don't know how you'd even describe it, like a kind of rope adventure course.
Yeah, let's say that. It was like Trumble Land, but less.
Nobody's going to get that reference.
No, is Trumble Land only a Gloucester thing? Was it not a popular?
It's barely.
Trumble Land was a soft play venue in the middle of Gloucester.
Yes.
When we were young, it's probably closed down now. But it was it was like a rope climb. The logs you step on as like an assault course.
Soft logs.
Yeah, tires.
Everything was padded.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, it was. That's not like a. I'm trying to.
Were they?
I'm trying to paint a picture. Yes, it was. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not like, hey, kids, go.
It's kids.
Here's the lumber section of B&Q. Go crazy. No, it's like it's like everything was like foam and it was like as you said, like a safe obstacle course that children couldn't die on.
In theory.
Yeah.
In theory. Nick tried his best.
Yeah. So, admittedly, now the owners have said, by the way, we've got this rope course. Go hog wild.
There was a sign.
There was a
on the entrance saying, "Please don't enter the rope course because it's dangerous."
Yeah, under no circumstances use the rope.
But
course.
they had told us to.
The owners had basically said, "Go crazy.
Yeah,
it'll be great." Now, when we went in, I was a little surprised at the amount of jagged, broken wood which was just
There was a
littering
lot of it. Yeah.
every surface.
Yeah.
And because we'd driven up with Nick.
Yeah, so it was you, me, Nick, and a couple of others at that
Yes.
point.
And when we went into, in terms of comedy, it was kind of amazing timing on Nick's part.
Yeah.
Um,
It's funny because he didn't
die
die or become disabled.
because we'd had conversations on the way up in the car about legitimately how Nick is always the guy who jumps into a thing first,
He did, yeah.
and then seriously injures himself.
Yeah.
In fact, he has, I think he's talked about it on the show, swung on a rope swing once and it snapped and he fell and broke a vertebrae in his back.
Correct.
So lightning.
So he was the likeliest candidate for this.
Yeah, so
We just sent him on the zip wire.
So we go into this rope course, which is at best dilapidated, probably haunted. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
There's lots of just jagged wood on the floor everywhere,
Absolutely.
and Nick, without skipping a beat, sees a zip line.
Nick required no encouragement to do what he did.
You can't
I must say this from a legal standpoint.
You can't stop that guy going on a zip line. He loves it.
He went straight on it.
Yeah, so he races towards the zip line, and he hops on, and he's off.
Yeah. He went. He was gone.
Now, our good friend Trainer,
Yeah.
who's I've got to say, very sharp fellow,
Yeah.
very observant.
He's the kind of guy who would be good to have around after a crisis.
Indeed. And I was standing next to Trainer as we watched Nick careen down his zip line, and we were watching this kind of like a comedy, like coiled piece of rope on the edge that he just jumped off.
It was wrapped around the platform, basically.
Yes, but it was like a pirate ship spool of rope was suddenly like unwinding rapidly as Nick was shooting down the zip line, and Trainer was going like, I think he's tethered to the end. And the moment he said that, the rope snapped taut.
Nick halted very abruptly.
Midair.
Yeah, midair.
Swung, as you would.
Yeah.
The rope he was hanging from instantly just
separated.
separated.
The rope from the top of the zip wire to where Nick was sitting on the like rubber seat.
Yeah.
Snapped at the top.
In a
Nick,
second.
Nick just plummeted.
Yeah, right onto his ass.
Right,
and we're
yeah.
talking maybe like 4 or 5 foot.
It wasn't hard.
Yeah, but he did land on the hard bit.
He landed on the
like-
hard bit and on his arse / back.
So he took it all in the spine.
Yeah.
which is great.
He very narrowly missed one of the jagged pieces of wood as well.
Yeah, and
very narrowly.
however jagged you're picturing this wood,
Yeah.
it's not quite jagged enough.
It's jaggeder. than
Like
that.
this is kind of like if you'd land on it, it probably would have gone in him.
In hindsight, we probably should have moved it.
Well, again, he didn't give us much.
No,
he was
that's
just he
true.
was hungry for.
Yeah.
He
really wanted it.
He
didn't
really wanted that rope swing.
Yeah.
But he was fine.
He was fine. He was all right. It was. We went. Are you all right? And then at the end of all right, I'd already started laughing. To be honest.
He's got very few nerve endings left.
Yeah.
to
Exactly. But no, he was fine. As far as I know, I haven't seen him since.
Just going back to Trumble Land.
Sure.
I think as a kid,
I used to love Trumble Land.
it was amazing.
Yeah. I remember it being massive, although in all
Hindsight.
likelihood it was probably pretty small.
It was probably the size of this room.
we
let's be honest.
had a lot of childhood birthday parties there.
Yeah, and it was in Gloucester,
Yeah.
the thriving metropolis of Gloucester. I don't think it's there anymore.
No,
I think as a kid, I somehow thought it was called Tumble Land.
I'm sure it was called Trumble Land.
You're right.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing Trumble was actually the name of the people who.
Do you think?
I think so. 'Cause
Unless,
Trumble doesn't mean-
it's a mix between tumble and something else.
Rumble.
Rumble. There you go.
Let's get ready to
Let's
rumble.
get ready to trumble. Writes itself.
And of course, as a kid, it's a childhood wonderland. You know, you've got a ball pit.
Yeah.
Uh,
All of that.
You know,
Slide into the ball
a
pit.
slide. You know, like a net you can climb
Yeah.
over. It's like a proper like obstacle course. 2 stories.
2 stories of
Yeah.
it. And then I always thought I was going to fall through the gaps in the rope bridge.
Yeah.
Never did.
Never did. And years later, years later, went to a Christmas party
Oh, yeah.
down in Melksham,
Sure.
which was organised by the amazing team who put on the Gone But Not Forgotten Melksham Comic Con, which was a great weekend.
Very good.
Well, good. Such a good party atmosphere. But we went to the Christmas party,
yeah.
and they hosted the Christmas party in
Nice.
like
I know where this is going.
in a bigger version of Trumbleland.
Nice.
So you know, like when the kids are away,
Yeah.
and then they lock the
That's
door.
probably a good extra revenue stream for such a
Well, here's the
venue.
thing: they were serving food.
Yeah.
I think you could buy beer.
Yeah.
And then just go wild, and it was bigger. Go wild on this massive obstacle
That, if
course.
anything, sounds more dangerous than the children being there.
Well,
If you're pissed up doing it.
but here's the thing: we were like, because I guess I was probably like 25 at the time, and we go there,
Yeah.
and literally like the doors open, and your eyes are like, finally, you know, I haven't done this since I was a kid. Like this is my moment. It's going to be incredible. Within 10 minutes, everybody's dying.
Yeah.
Like, everybody.
No one's got the sort of breathing capacity for that anymore.
No, honestly, like it was so weird. I was so tired isn't even a word. It's like my body just shut down. I like, you do it once and then you're panting, you're lying on the floor and everything hurts.
But as a kid, you'd be there for hours.
Yeah.
It felt like hours, certainly.
Mm.
You'd be like, yeah, just running around, spinning on that little platform that hangs from the ceiling. Trumbleland.
Well, this is a bit like, we've talked about it many a time on the show, but the trampoline park
I drove
in Cheltenham.
past that today. And
Yeah.
I thought, I've never actually been.
Well, I have.
Yeah.
I've told you about it.
Break your rib on it.
enough. I feel like if I didn't shatter a vertebrae, I came very close. Like, we
are getting on.
I'm feeling
a little.
I'm very aware of that.
Yeah.
It worries me, actually.
I mean, it's just as well we were isolating because, good God, my hangover lasted a week anyway. So.
Yeah, Jesus.
From the stag.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably still drunk for 3 days, to be honest.
We can't rule that out.
It is, joking aside, that was the drunkest I've ever seen you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the drunkest I've ever been, if not the.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
It was a treat, yeah.
Well, I was lucky to avoid a concussion.
Yes.
Because I leant down where there wasn't a post and I did whack my head on a beer keg.
I feel like...
And everyone thought I had a concussion.
I'm kind of well aware that like our key demographic is kind of like 20 to 35. There might be some younger, more impressionable listeners.
It's not worth doing. I would advise against it.
No, and I have
it was my stag do, and therefore, in my mind, all bets were off. But it turns out you can still hurt yourself, even on your stag do.
Yeah, funny that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was all good fun.
It's all good fun until someone gets a concussion.
It's all good fun. There did come a point where a few of us, the more sober of us, were genuinely worried that you busted your head in.
Yeah,
because you were...
That's fair.
Yeah.
I know that not everyone was worried.
No. And I have to say, there were certain elements in the stag group, certain more unsavoury elements who may have fed your insatiable lust for booze. They may have plied you with alcohol.
Yes.
There was a big game on.
There was.
It was understandable.
England's quarter-final.
Indeed.
Was on.
Yes, and Nick and I were sitting outside the tent.
I remember, yeah.
Not because we didn't give the impression of caring. We just didn't care.
Yes, no, I believe you.
Yeah, and I saw you at half time. You came out.
Yeah.
To see us. We were by the barbecue having a nice chat, having a beer, and you came out and you were wasted.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's reached the kind of.
He's reached the point.
I was like, he's reached the point where he's pretty wasted, but he seems happy. And you were like. You were caring. You were there.
Thank you.
You were. I don't know if you remember, but you were saying like, guys, don't want you to feel that you're not welcome.
No, I remember.
You can come in. Yeah, you do. So you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
When did you stop remembering things?
To be honest, this will sound disingenuous, but it's true. I didn't really.
You remember everything.
I remember the immediate aftermath of hitting my head because I remember everyone going, "Oh my God, are you all right?"
Yeah.
So I remember pretty much all of it.
The thing is, like, when Nick and I became aware of that, the story as it was told to us was that he nearly hit his head. He's fine.
Oh,
because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because everyone was terrified that you'd cracked your head on a keg.
Yeah.
I've
heard contrasting versions.
We're making this sound pretty bacchanalian, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I guess it was a bit, yeah.
But the upshot of it is I'm fine.
You are fine.
Was, is, and am.
Yes. It was when we were trying to get a burger inside you to sober you up.
Well, I saw a photo of that the morning after of me eating a burger. My God, my belly looked big in that. I just thought, look at the state of that. I just saw it. I think the trainer showed me the photo the morning after of me eating a burger, and I was like, "Look how fat he looks." Look at him.
I think a factor may have been that you lost such muscle control at that point that you were just slumping.
Probably.
Yeah. You were basically...
Posture was not my friend at that point.
It was a little scary because when we were saying like, oh, don't worry, he's fine, he didn't hit his head. And then I was like, can we get some light on his head? And then I was like, so you're saying he didn't hit his head? Yeah. Then why's he got an egg-shaped lump on the side of his head?
The thing is that if they did have a lump then, it went down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel it at all.
No.
In the days after.
Yeah.
So I think don't fall over.
No.
But I was okay.
No. Don't do most of the things you did.
Thank you.
That evening.
That's good advice.
Talking to the audience, I'm talking to you, my good friend.
Thank you.
My lifetime friend.
I'm taking it on board.
Please don't do that again. Because
No, I won't.
that was worrying.
I won't.
Yeah.
Let that be a lesson to all of you.
Indeed. And there are certain things that happened afterwards which I will not repeat on the podcast.
No, probably best.
Because I feel
we'll lose listeners.
Or gain a different
or gain
subsection of
gain listeners we don't want. Yeah.
I feel I've gotten to know you a lot better.
Thank you.
Because of
yes.
Having
heard the stories.
Jesus Christ. I wish I could forget that. That'd be fun.
I can only apologise that that's now burned into your brain.
Yeah.
Well, if any of the listeners are interested, feel free to approach me directly.
Yeah. Buy him a drink.
Right, yeah.
He'll tell you and show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, kids, drinking isn't big or clever.
No, that is true.
No.
That is actually true. Having said that...
Would you like another?
Yeah, go on.
Cool.
Yeah. You
Phil,
go. I'll fill for a minute. We had a good time on the stag. In case anyone's concerned that it was just debauchery, it was not. We had a good time. We had a Taskmaster-themed daytime. For those of you familiar with the show, we did a lot of Taskmaster-esque tasks, included eating a lemon.
You ate a lemon.
I ate a lemon. I ate a watermelon, or a lot of it. What else did we do? Make the tallest tower. Put as many individual things in this cup as you can. Throw this egg as far as you can without breaking it.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Did it all? It was all very...
it's very things you would see on Taskmaster.
Indeed,
sure.
Yes. No, it was good because it's a fun show.
I love it. I love Taskmaster.
And of course, the piece de resistance was you've got to eat a watermelon.
Yeah, but probably people who have watched Taskmaster or are familiar with it will know that one of the most famous ones, or infamous...
Should we just going to put a pin in that very quickly? In the rare event that you're not familiar with the concept of Taskmaster, the gimmick is it's a bunch of like British comedians who are set bizarre, mundane tasks to do, and then they are judged.
Yes,
with no particular like rules or logic.
It's a comedy panel show with a twist.
Yeah, so it'd be like I don't know how make a tower out of coconuts or something.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
You've got a minute.
Make the best freestanding bridge on this model train set.
Yeah, something like that.
Sort of thing.
And the famous one is
eat as much watermelon as you can. There's a comedian called Ramesh in a minute. Yeah. There's a comedian called Ramesh Ranganathan, and basically his tactic was to chuck the watermelon on the floor and just eat it off the floor. And I took that tactic and ran with it.
That was the final task of the day, and we knew we had to end on a high.
Yeah,
because I remember I think it was on my pre-stag a few years ago.
Yeah, that's when we watched it.
We watched a ton of Taskmaster.
Yeah,
and when you showed me that clip, I thought I was going to die. Like it was just the funniest. Like,
I think it was Trainer who turned us onto it.
Yeah, it was because again, like. You just got to see this. You got to watch it, and like
it was great.
If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube. Look at Watermelon.
It is out there. Yeah,
Taskmaster. It's unreal.
Taskmaster Watermelon. You'll find it.
So and again, it's like you knew what to do. Like you had a strategy.
As soon as you gave me a watermelon, I think you knew what I was going to do.
Indeed, yeah.
And I did throw it straight on the floor.
Yes,
and ate as much of it as I could.
Because I spent a lot of time putting bin bags down.
Because you knew that was about.
I knew it was coming, and the very first thing you did was drag the table out the way, thus moving the bin bags that I'd put down.
Yeah,
which is fine. It's your stag; you can do what you want.
Thank you. I won though.
You certainly did.
But like by a way.
Okay, so we had. So the idea was we weighed the watermelon beforehand, and then we weighed it at the end.
Yeah.
And of course, we deducted how much he'd eaten. So we had 3 people going for it. If I remember correctly, Larry
did it.
I think I'm going to get this wrong. I think Larry ate 300 grams of watermelon. Isaac ate 500 grams of watermelon in a minute.
Yeah.
You ate 800
grams.
800 grams.
And I kept saying afterwards, because bear in mind I've been drinking beer all day.
Yeah.
I felt incredible. I had 800 grams of watermelon. I felt so good after that. I was walking around just feeling refreshed.
Could be onto a winner there.
Yeah, it was great. I would recommend it. If you don't eat it like I did,
No.
but eat it, because it felt terrific.
We had, obviously, and before that, we had Eat a Lemon. We had a race to eat a lemon.
Yeah, I think that gave me acid reflux.
I mean,
I had quite bad acid reflux.
It's pretty rough, not gonna lie. But again, Larry, who's generally a bit of a superhuman at
Yeah.
everything,
He did very well on
that was kind of like,
That was impressive.
that was carnal. Like
Yeah.
watching him eat that lemon. Like he just went to town on it.
I was second in that one. I was a proud second to Larry on that one.
The very first task of the entire weekend was peel a banana without using your hands.
Yeah.
And it was
Someone started eating it and they were like, I don't like bananas.
But it
They were
was-
like, you don't have to eat it.
yeah, but that was Pete B, was it? not?
PB.
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
But again, what a hero.
Yeah,
because again,
smashed it.
Because Nick was one of the contestants doing eat a banana, and it's like eat a banana without using your hands, go.
Yeah.
And then there's that moment of confusion, and like and Nick, bless him, was kind of like he was trying to like elbow it or something.
Yeah.
And Pete was like, "Wait, you say don't use your hands? Can't use my hands?" Yeah. It's like right, and he just basically threw his head at it.
Yeah,
And
pretty
was
much.
like ripping chunks out of his
Yeah.
teeth. I've never seen him
People really went for it like the whole day.
absolute beast mode.
To be
It
fair, I
was
bet you were
outlandish.
thinking, I hope they go for it. And
Yeah, it was-
everyone to a man went
Well, yeah,
for it.
that's the thing, because that was the worry. I was like, oh, if people aren't up for it, it's not going to work. But yeah, for the first one, let's warm them up. Eat a banana, eat a banana without using your hands.
Yeah.
That's a solo challenge.
Yeah.
Do that. And then it was like, right, you've got 5 minutes to build the tallest freestanding tower.
Yeah, that
Go.
was good. We all just ran.
Yeah, it was well good. People just went for it.
Yeah. Well, we were stuck in wheelie bins on top of each other.
Yeah,
That was our tactic.
there was a fire escape outside the building.
Yeah,
and-
so we lent them up, and then they were freestanding by the end. And then one was chuck a jelly into this cup from the longest. It wasn't the longest distance, but I said go upstairs and chuck it from the top, and that it was that. So we did that.
lateral
one.
thinking.
Yeah,
That's what you want.
exactly.
Yeah. There you
So
go.
it was good. We had
It was
good fun.
good,
We had
yeah.
good fun. What came afterwards was a bit crap, but we got through it. So
We got through, and there's a wedding coming up, I hear.
sure is.
That's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Get through that.
See you there.
Be there.
Be there. Well, and if you're invited. If you're not invited, don't be there.
No, we'll give you a.
I'll let you know how it went.
We'll do a special kind of roundup.
We'll probably record one during the wedding. I expect one of these.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, you might as well. I
Why
don't
not?
think I'm going to be busy.
You got nothing else going on.
I don't
have
think
you?
I'm
No,
going to be busy.
no. I mean, it's like, what's an hour?
Yeah.
What's an hour out
No
of
one's
a
going to
wedding?
miss me for an hour. Are they?
Nah, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
There's always a lull. normally while
These
those
things.
vows are going.
Yeah. Ref. What have you got? John, not now.
Room tone. The one time in your life where you're not a dick while we're recording room tone. Jesus.
I've started doing my vows and I just go, my hate is. Oh, no.
But yeah, I guess I know we're riffing, we're freeforming.
We are.
While Nick is in here, but we probably should do the actual
probably should move
show,
on, yeah.
shouldn't we? Well, Chris Ray, man of the
Shall
moment.
I do one?
International man of mystery.
Well-
You got to hate.
Yes, I do. I feel if I don't talk about this one now
Oh, here we
on
go.
this podcast, I probably never will.
I hate being single.
No.
Okay.
But that's a good guess. No, my hate is penalty shootouts. It's topical.
Okay.
But I actually do. Penalty shootouts, for those of you who don't know, come at the end of a football match when there's not been a winner in a knockout game, and then they take spot kicks to decide, at best out of 5, to decide who goes through or wins the tournament or whatever.
Well-
England lost one, notably on
Well, that's not.
Go on.
That's a partial.
You're gonna correct-
That's
you're
a
gonna
partial
correct me.
truth, is it
You're
not?
gonna correct
Because is it not? There's extra time first as well.
There's extra time first, but
Yes.
I'm focusing on the penalty side of
So,
things.
because don't they add up all the wasted time that was?
That's stoppage time.
Oh.
Extra time is just a standard half hour
Oh, okay.
at
Okay.
the end of the game.
Oh, right.
Just
okay.
to see if there's a winner. Give them a bit more time, and then it goes to penalties. But they're so nerve-wracking all the time. Even teams I don't care about, I just feel my heart pounding. I'm in a fortunate situation in my life that as a football fan, I've never had one that matters with my club, which is Gillingham. I may have mentioned it. But England, obviously, I have them quite a lot. And even just watching as a neutral, I find them just heart-wrenching and awful and so nerve-wracking to actually be a part of.
Isn't the weird thing though? It's like a penalty, like a penalty shootout is a very different set of skills to actually winning a football game.
Yeah,
You know
it's,
what I
it's
mean?
essentially, can you score a goal from 12 yards?
But that's
In
like,
theory, a child could do it.
but I guess my point is,
Probably
it's
wouldn't,
like
but-
it's not indicative of the actual sport.
No, but can you think of a better way?
Probably just score.
That's the thing.
I don't know. I
Just win it in normal time.
But it's weird though, isn't it? Because like certain sports are very high scoring games, others are very low scoring.
Sure.
A 0-0 draw
It's possible.
is a very common.
It is.
Is a very common thing.
You've seen your fair shares.
I certainly have. Yeah, some
We
real
mentioned it on the
stinkers.
last
Yeah.
podcast, I think.
So how would you? I mean, do you think football would be more exciting if there were more goals?
Potentially. Depends what you define as exciting.
Well, okay. Well, look, in basketball,
Yeah.
as I understand it, I watched a documentary about basketball.
Yeah.
As I understand it, the moment
Expert.
the moment a team gets the ball, they have 15 seconds to take a shot.
I don't actually know. You probably know more about this than I do.
Yeah, no, okay, I'm sure someone will correct me, but that's my understanding. It's like
You're probably right.
There's a timer that starts, and like if your team gets possession,
Yeah.
you have to do something meaningful with that ball
Yeah.
within 15 seconds.
That makes sense.
Or you give it to the other team.
That makes sense.
Now, at the same time, a basketball court is a lot smaller,
Yeah. I don't know how you'd police that. There'd be so much tactical
Yeah.
play involved.
but there's a lot of. But
But
football.
what a
yeah,
goal! A goal is a release of emotion.
yes,
Speaking as a fan,
But they come so rarely.
If it happened 60 times a game,
yeah.
you'd get bored.
But at the same time, people watch rugby,
Yes,
which is a very high-scoring game.
relatively, it's because you score points rather than
Yeah,
goals.
but it's like I don't know. Is it better to win by 1-0 or is it better to win by like 95-70? What's
that
more?
sounds very stressful.
I'm saying, what's more interesting?
I would find a 1-0 win more engaging, I think, because I'm emotionally invested in that.
Well, I was saying, are you also?
But that's me, the football fan, not me, the neutral.
But I'm saying that's the point. Like you've invested so many years of your life.
Yeah.
To admit now that football could be more. It would
It
destroy
would just
you.
tear my soul
Yeah.
apart. Yeah, for sure.
I listened to
Uh-oh.
a podcast
Oh, yeah.
the other day.
Was it this one?
I know it was a better one.
Oh, that's all of them.
As impossible as that seems, as that might be to believe. No, and they were talking about. It was an American podcast, but they briefly talked about. No, I tell a
Here we
lie.
go.
It was a
Here we go.
YouTube video.
Oh, that's
And
much better.
For some reason, it comes up on my algorithm, and there's a channel on YouTube, that, and I can't remember what they're called, but they talk about weird rules in sport,
Okay.
as in like times that a rule has been exploited because it isn't.
Yes.
Like the Airbud thing.
I understand.
There's no rule that says a dog can't play basketball,
Yeah.
so we'll put a dog
So
on the
that's,
team.
yeah, why not?
And they mentioned soccer. You know, over in
Football?
yeah, they're like so the English, they
yeah.
like soccer.
We call it football because that's what it is.
It is indeed, because it's a ball that you kick.
Yeah.
And they talked about a time when a referee scored a goal for a team
Right. Deliberately.
deliberately.
That seems unlikely.
It
I'm not calling you a liar.
No,
John,
it
but-
happened.
Okay.
And it was not like in League 1, 2, or
It would
even
have been
7.
yeah,
It was very
somewhere at some point.
It was very low down, but it was official enough to get him in trouble.
It'd be great to watch that.
It's not like if heaven forbid you and I were having a kick around, and
I'll pass. I'm busy, I think.
Nick was reffing, and Nick
Yeah.
was,
Nick's on a rope swing.
It was technically
getting ready to ref.
well,
yeah.
in much the same way that you've said many a time that if we worked our way up through the local leagues
Yeah.
and were good enough, we could
Yeah.
eventually make our way up into
Sure.
say the
Why not?
Premier League.
Yeah.
So it was an official game, but it was between like I don't know, Quincy Rangers versus Uptown Forest Sevens or something like that. Like real like nobody
Yeah,
teams.
sure.
And one team was losing like 20-0,
And the ref got fed up.
and the ref just went and scored a goal.
That's great stuff.
Uh,
I admire that.
and he argued, I think, I'm probably getting this anecdote terrible. He argued that there was actually no rule that said a ref couldn't score a goal.
See, interestingly now, there is a rule that says if the ball touches the ref at all, accidentally or otherwise, the game must stop and there must be a drop ball.
Oh.
So maybe that's why.
Is that a new rule?
Maybe that's that rule in particular is quite new. Yes. So in theory, before, if the ball hit the ref and went in, you can't do much about it.
Yeah, because I
But
think
now obviously you can't.
they talked about that in this video. They said you could technically use the ref
Yeah.
You could bank a shot off the ref.
Back then you could, yeah.
Wow.
I'm talking relatively recently, like maybe 5-6 years ago. That was still a rule.
Wow.
So there you go.
Okay, but penalties.
Penalties I hate just because it's so tense.
Yeah.
You've come all this way, you've invested in this game, and particularly for the players who have trained their whole lives for this moment, and it's just a penalty kick that anyone in any walk of life could score in theory. And they, as professional footballers, have to stake their reputation because they will be remembered for this, especially in a high-profile game.
Oh, yeah.
Such as the Euro final, which was the weekend just gone.
Well, yeah, because it's horrible, which is what I was kind of getting to.
But you're ill in your head as well. Like,
Yeah.
you hear footballers talk about penalty shootouts and what they actually have to go through, and it sounds like mental torture.
Oh, no, it'd be horrendous. It'd be horrendous if only 22 people were watching.
Yeah. The whole world's watching.
The whole world watching, yeah. No, my heart goes out to him. It'd be an absolute nightmare.
I watched a penalty shootout recently between Torquay United and Hartlepool United. I cannot stress enough how little I care about either of those clubs. But I watched it, I was like, this is so stressful.
Yeah.
I'm so stressed watching this.
But again, just because
of the tension.
Because I know I'm not a... This might shock you to learn, but I'm not a sporting person. I know. It's... No, not before a wedding. Don't die. I'm not a sporting person, and yeah, I do understand and expect and respect and admire the skill of being top of your craft. Like to go I can do one thing very, very, very well, and I feel that you could be the best footballer in the world, and you'll still probably fail half of all penalties you took.
Especially if you're up against a professional goalkeeper.
Yeah, and then everyone's going to go...
But equally, if you go the right way with your kick, you will score. Unless you put it wide, which did happen
but again, it's
on the weekend.
But again, it's unfair. It's like, people will go, oh, he missed that shot, he's got to be shit. I was like, no, he's probably like top of his game. He's like probably like an absolute A-game footballer.
But even as a fan, like that is from sort of the player's side, but it's gut-wrenching watching it as a fan. I am so lucky that the last penalty shootout Gillingham were involved with before I started supporting them was just before I started supporting them, ironically.
Well, how would you, I guess, have there been...
But I wouldn't be able to handle that, I don't think. England ones I can just about bear, and that's awful.
The thing is, but again, because it's a low-scoring sport, it's like, if you can't score the winning goal in 90 minutes, like, okay, let's give them another half an hour.
Yeah.
In 2 hours, if you can't score more goals, what's
the alternative?
Have they ever done...
Don't think so.
Alternatives to the penalties?
I know that in kids' sport, they run from the halfway line with the ball, and they just have like what's called a one-on-one. So it's the player against the keeper. That's in kids.
What? And they make the kid run from the halfway line? That seems needless.
Yeah. Take that. That'll show you for not winning the game.
Am I dreaming? Has there ever been... I'm going to say something very stupid now.
Go on.
Has there ever been a concept of the golden ball?
Yeah, sure has. Golden goal, it's called.
Golden goal?
Yeah. So in 98 and 2000, a quarter-final was won with the golden goal at France 98 World Cup, and the whole tournament was won with a golden goal at Euro 2000.
And that's the idea that...
Both by France.
That's the idea that the next goal
wins.
Next goal wins.
Which is fun. But then everyone decided it wasn't fair.
But also, if you say the next goal wins...
That was how we used to play at lunchtime at school. Next goal... You play for an hour, and then the bell rings, and you go, next goal wins.
But also...
rendering the last hour completely
Believe
pointless.
me, I wouldn't know. Unless I glimpsed it out the window of my Magic the Gathering club, I would not have seen... But like... But again, if it's a draw and nobody's winning, and somebody goes, okay, next goal wins, yes.
Yeah.
That's technically the same. Like, it doesn't add much.
No, but then if someone scores because someone's made a horrendous error, then it's harsh.
Yes, but if someone scores... It's like, I'm saying, you give them 90 minutes and nobody scored a goal. You give them an extra half hour, nobody scored a goal.
Yeah. I don't know.
What are we paying these people for?
What are we paying these people for?
Score
these
a
tens
goal.
of thousands of pounds.
Don't they measure footballers... Like, kind of footballers' worth or career be measured by, like, well, he's played 4,000 hours, but he's not scored...
Yeah, sort of. That's sort of a form thing. Like if you play a certain amount of time but have been shit for that entire time, odds are your value will go down.
Yeah.
Whereas if you played that time and scored 20 goals and played really well, then your value will go up. It's a natural commodity.
But I guess like if you're a defense,
Very good.
or kind of
Yeah, but people who watch football and know football will value the contribution of the defense rather than just goals.
But if
you base it on clean sheets, you base it on tackles, passing, accuracy.
But if you're an owner of a club,
Very good.
or thank you, or a manager, a coach, if you're like that triumvirate, and you're like, we've bought this player, and we paid however many millions for him. Oh, there we go.
Caught it.
We've paid however many millions for him. Are you expecting? And he's a striker. He's up front.
Okay.
You know, he's a silly mid forward or whatever it's called. You know,
That's a funny cricket joke.
Thank you. I would have said tennis, but there we go.
Silly mid off.
But
Cricket position.
are you expecting a certain amount of goals?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Okay. Like I want this guy
the sort of, I would say the sort of yardstick for a striker is 20 goals a season.
How many games can they play in a season?
45 roughly. You would say.
Okay, so we kind of
slightly less than every other game is a good return.
And I do apologise, listeners. We're getting into genuinely kind of interesting football talk now.
This is football talk with a show called Hate.
I guess my question is, how many strikers, how many goal scorers would a team have? 2, 3?
Yeah, probably.
And if each is meant to score every other game,
that would be excellent.
That's excellent.
You've done very well.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Good for them.
But I mean, we're talking like 1.3 goals a game, something like that.
That'll do.
That'd be great.
That'll be excellent.
So why do we keep getting so many 0-0 draws?
Well, not everyone's that good. It turns out after 100 years of association football that not everyone's that good.
Are there certain games you can kind of like turn up for? You know,
it depends who you are. You, as a fan, I would say absolutely not. But yeah probably. Yeah.
Because in a league
very good
game.
Excellent.
So let's say top.
I really did this Hate just so we could listen to you attempt to talk about football.
There might be a market for you and I doing a football podcast.
I think there probably is.
Yeah. So in the Premier League,
excellent,
which is top-notch football,
sure,
total football,
absolutely.
Textbook football, best of the best.
Postage stamp.
A draw gets you 1 point.
Very good.
A win gets you 3.
Sure does.
And there are 22 teams.
20 teams.
20 teams in the league.
38 games a season.
And every team plays each other twice.
Correct. Home and away.
Home and away. So how many games?
38 games.
38 games. I would have said, 38 games.
20 times 2 minus 2 because you don't play yourself.
Well, you can prove anything with maths,
yeah.
Can't you? So 38 games.
Yeah.
So you could theoretically win every game.
Sure.
You would play 38. No, you would play 38 games.
Me personally.
No, would a team would play 38?
You have to play 38 games.
38 games. So you would win.
That's unnegotiable, non-negotiable.
So you would win. Potentially, the maximum score you could get is
38 times 3, whatever that is.
Well, it's 90. 8 times 3 is 24.
Okay.
So it's 114 points.
Excellent.
Is the most you could get.
That'll do. That'll probably win you the league.
That would probably win you the league. Has anyone done that?
No, Arsenal went a season unbeaten, but they drew a number of games.
So you support a team which is in not the Premier League,
certainly not
the Champions League,
League One, the third division,
in
old money,
the third division in old money. Strategically now, there are games where you could go like, let's just get a comfortable.
Sure. I mean, it doesn't at our level. It doesn't happen that often because the players aren't particularly good. Frankly, in the Premier League, there are games where teams can play badly and win, and you think, well, that's just because they have better players. That's the way it goes. That's capitalism, I believe.
There's a book called Freakonomics.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
I've read like half of it. I think it's a whole franchise now. I think there's a podcast.
I've definitely heard of that.
The idea was basically trying to make like economics interesting, and I've only read a bit of it, But it opened and they were talking about the sumo league.
Oh yeah,
in Japan.
big money.
Yeah, indeed.
In a sumo league.
Indeed, it's a similar thing. And how I'm going to get this wrong, but it's basically like you would play, you'd fight in like 14 matches per season or something like that.
So the aim of sumo is to stay in the ring.
Yeah, either knock them out the ring or get both of their feet to leave the ground.
Gotcha.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
And there was a thing, I'm going to get this wrong, but it's kind of like a league kind of thing where you kind of like gather points. And it was something like on your 7th game, match, sorry, not game, but it basically like this guy proved with maths and economics that there was widespread corruption.
Right.
Because it's basically like, if it's best out of 15, then like the 7th game can be very important.
Sure.
And he basically found that like if a dude had lost like 6 games in a row,
right,
and the 7th game was where he was gonna, kind of crash and burn,
he would win.
He'd miraculously win.
Would he? Interesting.
Yeah. So through the power of maths, he proved that.
You'd think that someone would notice that before. Like a
You would
financier.
Yeah, you would think, wouldn't you? But I guess everybody was in on it. I guess there was like interest in kind of keeping the games running. I guess. Yeah.
There's a good because at university I did sports journalism. There was a good thing about when does sport become boring, and it's when you know the result.
About 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And the answer was
the last
then
time
and
you
there.
and I lived together. I think.
Yeah. But it's when you know the result. It's when you know the outcome. Like football, it particularly becomes boring because what's the point? And we talked about this, the European Super League. It may have been on the podcast. It may have been just when we were having a barbecue.
Which was on the board. They've given up on the
They've
idea.
given up on that.
Yeah.
We won't touch on that too much, but it's interesting that that's sort of how sport is defined. That it loses its interest when it becomes boring when you know the result, and that's why penalties, I guess, are exciting. But from my point of view, they make me very, very uncomfortable.
I think they're too exciting and they're too random. Because it's like...
You've watched the penalty shootout with me before.
Yes, I have, yeah.
And England won and we lost.
Yeah.
We tend to lose.
Yeah. Well, again, even...
And it's just, I just find it
It's
an overly anxiety-inducing process.
No,
I really do.
I agree. Even from the outside looking in, I agree. I think it'd be like being... I don't know, being amazing at tennis, say, and then if a game ends on a draw, they're like, I don't know,
you can't have that.
You've got to eat 5 tennis balls in a minute or something.
That'd be great. I love that.
Like if you had
for a while, I think eventually I'd become anxious.
If you had a skill where you're like, I'm very good at tennis, can't eat a tennis ball.
Yeah,
that's not going to work.
How they get you.
That's not going to work. Yeah.
Well, tennis you can't draw. That's a fact. It could go on. In theory, tennis could go on forever.
Yeah, but tennis is. And it regularly does, doesn't it?
Yeah, quite often.
Used to be a nightmare when you wanted to watch The Simpsons on British terrestrial TV.
Simpsons has been cancelled. It's the easiest thing to cancel The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because everyone's seen them all.
You know, # unique British problems, but when like Wimbledon's on, and the game just does not end, they cut into whatever scheduled television that's going on. It just goes on and on and on.
And quite often you'll get it on both channels.
It will never end.
I don't quite know why that is.
But again, it's like tennis is an absolutely nonsensical scoring system. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Let's not get into that.
15,
30, 40.
And then...
To love.
And love, but love is only if
love is 0.
And love is a 0?
Love is 0.
I thought love was like a draw.
No, love is 0. So it goes 15 love.
Sorry, yeah, 15 love.
15 love, 30 love, 40 love, and then that's the game.
And it's the first...
And then you have to win 6 games in a set to win the set.
But isn't it like...
And then you have to win either best out of 3 or 5 sets to win the match.
Yeah, and yet, sorry, you definitely know better because your mom plays tennis.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watch tennis.
But like, just remind me, it's first to 40 to win a game. Or... Sort of.
It's so 15 is 1. Here we go.
Yeah.
15 is 1.
Yeah.
30 is 2.
Yeah.
40 is 3.
Yes.
And then game is 4. So you have to win 4 points to win a game.
Yes.
But it's 15, 30, 40
But
game.
I thought, is there not also a thing where, like, if someone catches you up, and if it's like...
If you get to 40 all, that's called juice.
Juice, that's the one.
And then you have to win another 2 points.
Yes, you have to beat them by 2.
Yeah.
And then if it's juice, but you score 1...
You're then advantage.
But then if the other person...
Then it's back to juice.
Back to juice, yeah.
But you have to then get the advantage, then game.
Nonsensical.
No, it is nonsensical.
Absolute
When you break it
gibberish.
down like that, it is nonsensical.
I mean, it's fascinating gibberish, but it is absolute gibberish.
It's good to explain it to people, and then you suddenly realise, yeah, that is nonsense.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it. But I would recommend to anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about for the last 20 minutes about penalties, just put it on YouTube. Just put penalty shootout on YouTube, and you too will feel incredibly anxious.
Well, even on the first night of your snag, it was like Spain, Switzerland.
It was.
We're
There's a penalty shootout in that.
And there was a penalty shoot, and it is tense.
Yeah, sure is.
Arguably, it's a more interesting 20 minutes from the actual game that precedes it.
Probably.
Is that possibly why you like football? In the same way that, like,
it's boring.
no, but in the same way that golf is really just an excuse to go for a long walk. Football, there's a lot of time to drink and talk and just.
Well, you're not allowed to football because we're all thugs and no good nicks.
Well,
you're not allowed to drink in view of the pitch.
What, really?
Yeah.
If you can. Oh God, really?
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. Actually.
So you never drink during the game.
So you can't physically see. That's weird.
If you can see the pitch, you're not allowed to drink.
And that's kind of why.
Which, to be fair, is excellent. It's an excellent rule, because otherwise everyone would be hammered all the time.
Well, to be fair, I think I'd need to be hammered to really enjoy a game.
Yeah, there are games like that.
But is that also why you absolutely stack it before a game
Very
to
much
like load up? Yeah.
Got to load up. Otherwise, what are you supposed to do?
What do you do at half time though?
You go to the bar.
Oh, okay, so you can go back to the bar at half time.
You go back to the bar at half time.
Half an hour?
15 minutes.
Only 15
So you got to drink
minutes?
quickly. Yeah.
What's that, like a shandy? A half?
Oh no. You got to drink quickly. It depends where you are.
And bear in mind, you got to queue at the bar as well.
Yeah, well, there's some clubs do a good system where you can order before you go in.
Some clubs have a series of pipes that you just kind of suckle on.
Yeah, they should. Oh yeah, it's a big day at the soccer.
Good God, it's half time. Get into the hosing room.
Yeah.
I've got a hate.
Go on then. Is it football related?
No.
Oh,
oddly enough,
thank
no.
goodness.
I hate sitcoms
Uh-oh.
starring comedians
Right.
where the main character's profession is being a stand-up comedian.
Oh God, which sitcom have you seen?
Well, I mean, the quintessential classic would be, say, Seinfeld.
Okay.
Now,
I've never actually seen Seinfeld.
No, I've never really seen Seinfeld either. I'm going to give Seinfeld a pass because it was maybe the first to do it.
Right.
But on Netflix, for example,
Yeah.
there are many now these more kind of slick, modern TV comedies sort of thing.
Sure.
But you get the blurb, you get the kind of like...
Struggling stand-up, Dave, is struggling to make ends meet. Will he be able to make a success of his career and life before his wife leaves him for a better stand-up? That kind of thing.
That's incredible. Yes, exactly, yeah.
I should write them.
Because it's like... Okay, so yeah, it's a uniquely... okay, so maybe... I'm sure this goes on in other countries, but like... From the culture that I consumed growing up, American culture, British culture.
Yes. Those are the only two.
The only,
Australian culture.
the only ones that matter, right? So it seems that growing up, it was always a thing where if you're a commissioning editor for like the BBC,
Sure.
you basically go every year to the Edinburgh Fringe, you know, the Fringe Festival, all these great comedians. You snap up new talent and you go, you are a very funny stand-up comedian.
Yes.
Your medium is being on a stage, telling jokes, making an audience laugh. You're very funny.
Yeah.
Would you like to do a sitcom on the BBC? And I have lost count of the amount of mediocre sitcoms I watched as a kid.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, so you are a 20-something, up-and-coming, edgy stand-up comedian.
Probably ruins their career, frankly.
It might do. then you go, okay, so now you've got to make a TV show. You're going to be the star. It's going to be a vehicle for your comedy.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Christ.
And now you've got to write a sitcom where you are the main character, but you're not.
I suppose you can't say no either because you're an up and comer.
No, but you want it. You'd want that money.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to get to know you. But like,
yeah.
there are several on.
See, I'd like to think in that situation, I would rather have my sort of professional dignity, but I would definitely take the money.
Well, yeah. Because I remember, like, there are now at the same time there are plenty of these shitty sitcoms that are all founded around a central comedian.
Yes.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
It's an awful television program.
Again, I'm aware more of it than Seinfeld, but I've never really seen it.
When I was at uni, every morning when I woke up, because I've always been an early riser and I could handle hangovers a lot better back then. But like, I'd get up in my university accommodation, put the TV on. There was a kids program called the Koala Brothers, which was charming as hell.
I don't remember that at all.
No, that's beyond our time. I shouldn't have been watching it.
Okay.
But I put that on, these little stop motion koalas. I'm like, oh, that's charming. They fly a plane. And then it'd be like an episode of Frasier.
Sure. Love Frasier.
Love a bit of Frasier.
Love Frasier.
And then it would be like Everybody Loves Raymond. And that's when I turn off.
Yeah.
Because I get like 5 minutes of it. Like, this is garbage. This is absolutely awful. But that's the thing. It's like getting a sitcom as a comedian. That's good money.
Was Ray Romano a stand-up then?
Yes.
Was he?
Yeah. They all have a career. You trace it back. They all started out as a stand-up comedian.
See, all I think of when I think of Ray Romano is Zach Braff. He could be his dad.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, they look
exactly alike.
Like the same person. It's weird though, because like I watched that Martin Scorsese film. I went straight to Netflix last year or a couple of years
ago.
Irishman.
And
Ray Romano is in that as a minor character.
Oh my goodness.
And it's actually really good.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, he can.
He can do it.
He can, like when he needs to.
Yeah.
He'll turn up and he'll put the work in. But there's been 19 seasons of Everybody Loves Raymond, and that's like just turn up and cash a check. King of Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
You know. And then in the UK, remember Lee Evans?
Yeah.
Sweaty stand-up. He had a sitcom on British television called So, What Now?
Oh, I don't remember.
It was called Lee Evans, So, What Now? Question mark.
Was it him playing a comedian then?
No, and I'm bringing these up as the example of like you can still be shit while not being a stand-up comedian.
Sure.
They're like, Lee Evans, you're young, you're hot. The year is.
What happened to Lee Evans?
I don't know. I think the
He's
world
vanished off the face of the planet.
I think the world realised he had a very limited shtick.
I've never seen a lot of him.
He was in The Fifth Element.
He was in Something About Mary.
Was he?
Yeah. That's the only thing, because Liz really likes Lee Evans, actually. I've never seen much of his stand-up, but I remember him being in that film as someone who was in love with Mary, as they all were.
I feel like Lee Evans' dirty secret is that he's actually a clown.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. I feel like if
he's got the features.
He's got the exaggerated body language of. I think he wanted to be a clown.
Probably.
But he decided
what
to be
if you're like a mime?
He decided to be a comedian. Yes.
Probably wanted to be a mime.
That's his dirty secret. He's actually a mime.
Yeah.
And he would have been happier if he'd been a mime. But
there's so many different comedians do that stuff now. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like Josh Widdicombe's got a show called Josh.
Yes.
Catherine Ryan's done one recently. Lee Mack.
Lee Mack
does Not Going Out. Which actually is sometimes all right.
And I find...
Sometimes.
Okay, and what my point is, like, I think all of those, I think particularly the British ones, they're pretty mild. You know what I mean? Like, they're very safe, very...
Not that funny.
BBC Two, kind of canned laughter sort of thing. But I think also... Okay, so like, you know... Okay, you're Lee Mack, whatever. No, let's just... Theoretically, you are a young, mid-20s... I don't know, edgy comedian.
Sure.
We like your shtick. We like your brand of comedy.
Yeah.
But sitcoms sell.
Yes.
So
you'll never become famous without a sitcom.
So we're going to give you a sitcom.
Yeah.
You've got it.
Go.
Boss it about. Tell us.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, I'm 25. I'm young. I'm single.
Yeah.
I've got a wacky friend.
Yeah.
You know, my parents disapprove. They live next door.
Sure.
You know, gone on again.
Or he's got really quirky parents, say.
Yeah. Oh, my parents are aging hippies.
Yeah.
You know, they grow
He's
weed.
the straight man, in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be normal, but everyone else is,
Everyone else around me is crazy.
And it just kind of writes itself. I've got a lodger. She lives upstairs. She's an artist. She's weird,
And then I use it all for my sitcom act.
Yeah, and then it just writes itself. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Very easy. And yet, that is still marginally better than them going, okay, write a sitcom. Who are you? What do you do? I guess I'm a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
There's one on Netflix right now, and I've only glanced over it. Maybe it's great. Maybe I'm being an asshole. But the blurb is literally like an aspiring stand-up comedian in New York has to balance love and work. And I'm like, nobody, like, okay, who's going to watch that?
Yeah.
Who's going to go, well,
I can relate to that.
I'm a young stand-up comedian in New York. I want to,
Odds are that's the person who's made it.
Yes.
Oh, that's my sitcom.
But it'd be so self-indulgent. Like if someone gave me a sitcom and I'm like, and they go, okay, what's it about? And I go, well, I guess I'm an aspiring comic book writer. Yeah, great. You're pitching to 0.0001% of the population.
But people say like, oh yeah, write about what you know, but like, don't write a biog.
Yeah, write about what you know. Don't write what you know.
Don't write about yourself.
Yeah, because again, I understand that was one of the criticisms, air quotes, about Seinfeld. Is that in Seinfeld, his job is that he's a stand-up comedian.
Sure.
And yet he never tours. Like people are saying, the life of
that's the criticism.
Well, we're going like
that's what I've got a problem.
The life
with.
of a stand-up comedian is driving around the country, going to shitty little clubs, doing things until you get noticed. Whereas, like he has an apartment, he hangs out with his friends,
he does nothing,
and he goes to the same club every night around the corner and does comedy.
That's not what a comedian does. Yeah.
And I will give Seinfeld a pass because it was the first one to do it.
Yeah.
And as I understand it, it didn't really matter because it was...
People only nitpick sitcoms like Seinfeld from that era because it's had longevity. It's like where people nitpick Friends now and things like that. Because it's gone on for so long, people are now nitpicking it based on what it is now. Yeah. Or what they think it should be now rather than what it was then.
Because I used to watch Friends back in the day.
I love Friends.
The thing... I prefer, though, latter day Friends.
Do you?
Kind of like the later bit of Friends when they kind of were more confident in the characters. Because if I see like a really early episode of Friends, it's a little cringy occasionally when they go like, they'll try to do, I'm not even sure if social commentary is the word, but I remember one episode which was all about like wealth disparity.
Yeah.
And it was like,
oh yeah, I remember that.
Let's all go out to a fancy restaurant. And then literally like half the crew have to go, like sad face. I
can't afford it.
I don't earn as much money as they do.
Yeah.
And it does feel a little bit like the writers and the directors were going like, we need to relate to like young 20-somethings.
Yeah. Otherwise, these are just sexy people in New York.
And then eventually they just gave up and they were like, we're just going to have wacky
They forget all that now. They just like, they just do stuff.
Now, we must have talked about this before, but the weird thing with Friends is realising that they were probably like 20...
Yeah, it's very upsetting.
Or meant to be 20-something, 21, living in...
Whenever I watch Friends even now, I think they're older than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which they're not. They're clearly not.
Well, they're clearly not meant to be.
No.
At least.
But I think the actual actors were younger than we are now. Certainly at the start.
That's weird, isn't it?
Certainly at the start.
Yeah.
It's very upsetting. It's like it's the same with a lot of things, even footballers. Most footballers are now younger than me.
Yeah, well, I mean...
It's very off-putting.
Yeah. No, because I have this problem where I kind of assume anyone I see who is successful in any field, I go, well, they must be older than me.
Must be.
They must be. Because
otherwise, I'd be successful by now.
because I just need more time.
Yeah,
otherwise,
exactly.
I'd be on top of it.
I'm this close.
I'll be all over
this
it.
close to being successful.
And then I realised that, no, that's not the case, actually. And,
They've just done very well. Good for them, you bastards.
And I know there's a rational bit in my brain that goes, and I know that's because there's a lot of luck involved in anything. And the TV...
Is there, though?
Yes,
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I think there is. I have to believe there is. Yeah, because again, like the TV, there's only so many minutes that can go on mainstream television. So they're like, we're only going to shine a light on the interesting, beautiful, successful people. And they're not.
It's about time they had their share of voice, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
The young successful people.
the young successful people. I'm a white male between the ages of 18 and 35.
Everyone listens to me.
Everyone listens to me.
As he's grabbing a can of gum and nuts.
Together at last. But yeah, it is harrowing because I never feel like I've actually arrived. I always feel like I'm still faking it or just biding my time, like that moment's going to come. And
Might do. Might still.
It might do. The best piece of advice I've had two very, very, very good pieces of advice in my life, but one that really stuck with me was success is not a flash in the pan. It's being quietly excellent for years.
There you go.
And that's what I tell myself.
Yeah. And you'll look back eventually and go, yes, that'll do.
Yeah.
When you retire, yeah, that's fine.
When I'm sitting in my ivory tower,
exactly,
surrounded by all my holographic grandchildren,
tell us a story, Grandpapa.
I'll look back on a recording of this moment and I'll go, God, I remember having clean water.
Oh no!
Oh, okay.
I remember human contact.
Life after the event would have been much different even if we'd been able to save some of the children. Ah, jeez.
Wonderful.
I mean, I have to tell myself, yeah, there's still time.
We'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Probably.
Mid-30s, eh?
Well, yeah.
How did this happen?
How did we come to be sitting in this dark room right now?
I know. I should put a light on.
You should, really.
Do you want to fill the air?
I'll fill the air. Oh, that was good. That was bad audio.
Oh, it's fine. We're recording in the lounge today,
we're in a different room and there's no Nick here, so we're basically filling someone's job, and actually in a completely different environment, which is probably skewing us. All the listeners are probably thinking, what the hell is going on here? They're talking about penalties and being mid-30s.
They're probably going to think that like the audio quality is so much better than.
Do you think? I don't know how good the acoustics are in this room.
Well, it's all the soft furnishings, you see.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm all right for now. Right, I've still got a plentiful amount of beer in my hand. Well, if you're out there and you're listening and you're between the ages of 20 and 35, then just know that you're fine for now. But eventually, things will begin to go pear-shaped.
I think the weird part is that
we're not there yet. We're not at the pear-shaped moment yet.
Thinking back on it, I mean, like your 20s are they're not great.
You're still finding your place.
Yeah,
you're still finding your place in the world.
There was a lot of freedom in your 20s, and I think mostly because you always had this kind of idea that you had so much ahead of you. Which is so.
This is getting very depressing.
I suppose so. We should.
It's supposed to be a comedy podcast.
Yeah, we should probably spin on.
You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
All right,
You'll be fine.
Have a drink.
Treat yourself. Fine.
Yeah,
why not? It's about you deserve it. You deserve it.
Have you got love?
I have, because Nick, before he got married, said his love was his future wife. My love, because otherwise I look bad, is my future wife. And this is the last episode before I get married.
I think it's the last episode we ever record.
Yeah, she won't let me do it after we get married. She said I've got to quit.
You've changed, man. Used to be cool.
No, I was never cool. No, but it's true.
Oh,
there it is.
Oh,
I love my future wife. It'll be cool to be married to her. Yeah, it'll be nice. I'm excited about it. Next step in my life. Like, that's what I say. You might be 35 and thinking, oh, my life's going nowhere, but mine is, and that's the main thing.
Well, you see, now I feel like an asshole because I think.
What have you done now?
Well, let's roll it back. Did Nick get married in the course of this podcast?
Yeah, sure
he
did. Sure did.
Lucy and I got married.
Oh, you didn't say it.
I didn't say it.
Oh no.
I'm the only one who didn't.
We're going to need to go back and find out.
I can't remember. That was like episode 12 or something like that.
I barely remember the last episode.
A lot's happened.
A lot has happened in that time.
To be honest, yeah. We were young and vibrant at one point.
Yeah, not on this podcast.
No. I mean, well, I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
How long have you known Liz?
I have known Liz for just over 5 years.
5 years, my God.
Believe it or not. Sorry, I was burping while I said that.
I remember.
Do you remember me young and single, John?
I do.
My reckless days.
Well, yeah, and from the outside looking in, I would say you are much, much, much happier.
I am
now
I would
than
say
you
so.
were as a single man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I would say that's correct.
I would say that Liz is possibly possibly the best thing that's ever happened.
I would say I would agree with you.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Imagine where I would be now. I'd probably still be on the stag do. I'd be living that every day. At least it only happened once that day.
I like the idea that there's a reality where you're single, but we throw you a stag do anyway. So you can
The same stag do over and over and
you
over.
can go out in style like a Viking funeral.
Just do it. It'll humour him. He's got no one. He's got no one.
Why are you still here?
I don't even know who this is. We're just hiding actors.
It's kind of wild how Liz has become such a part of all our lives, actually.
Well, not that wild for me. She is my wife.
Well, I mean, wild in like a good, lovely way.
Okay.
Because she's a pretty awesome person, actually.
Yes.
And
She's going to be blushing listening to this.
she
listens to this
Does
while
she listen?
Oh, yeah.
She listens
to this while she works.
My God.
So she'll be blushing at the moment.
Focus on your job, Liz.
Yeah, get back to work.
Hey, Liz.
We're not going to earn anything otherwise. I'm unemployed.
Hey, Liz. Reach. Okay, pause. You're typing now.
Yeah.
Stop typing.
Look back at that last word you typed and
is it?
just double check it.
What does it say? It's love, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just type love.
I bet it was.
If you didn't, there's still an opportunity
Yeah,
to...
just type love now.
We can't hear you. Oh, that's nice.
Love regards.
Now, reach down into... Oh, I feel weird saying this all night, but we've planned this for so long. But if you reach down into the top drawer...
Oh, no.
Now, what's that? What's that next to you now? Open the drawer.
Oh,
What's
God.
that?
I'm going to have to put something in the drawer.
Oh, there's an envelope. What's in the envelope?
Okay.
It's a gun, Liz.
Oh.
Leave your desk.
Yeah.
Do not pause.
Just leave the house.
Walk to the front door. Oh, we have a laugh.
We have fun, don't we?
I remember... well, weirdly, I cannot remember the first instance where we met Liz.
I think I do.
I do remember bumping in... Lucy and I bumped into Liz on the road.
Yeah.
After that.
And you barely recognised her.
Well, no, we had one of those kind of like polite, slightly awkward conversations. But hi, hello. Yes, I remember you.
Mm.
And then not long after that, we had the wedding of our good friend Will Train.
We did.
And his other half, Liz.
Yes.
Which is
different Liz.
A different Liz. A lot of Liz's out there.
Yeah.
Which is actually, yes, there are a lot of Liz's.
I'm
surrounded by
one of
Liz's.
Liz's bridesmaids is also called Liz.
Yeah.
It's going to get very confusing.
One of Lucy's colleagues is called Liz.
Oh, for God's
so many
sake. My
Liz's.
sister's called Elizabeth.
It's ridiculous.
Which is the long version of Liz.
Well, she's going to have to change.
Yeah,
That's
someone's
awkward.
going to have to.
And we spent a day setting up in advance of that wedding.
I recall, yeah.
And I believe that you disappeared in a van to go steal...
No one asked me to.
You hopped in a van with other individuals.
I was told to get in a van and I didn't question it.
And you just peeled out
I just went.
to go get beer from the Channel Tunnel or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember. Something like that.
And you were gone like 15 hours or something. It was quite a long...
I was gone for a whole weekend.
You were gone for a very long time. And Lucy and I spent a lot of time getting to know Liz because we were...
Because you had no choice.
We had no choice, yeah. We were hanging curtains and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was when her event planning degree, which she has, came into its own, I think. Because I think she very much helps to set up that event, from what I hear.
Well, knowing that she'll be listening, would you like to say something particularly nice about Liz?
I love Liz very much. I can't wait to marry her, and the future will be bright.
Stop. No. Stop being so vague. Stop dealing in these broad placages.
What are you looking for?
What's the thing you admire about Liz? Let's just lay it out there.
I admire so much about Liz. Her organisation, her cheer, her ability to...
Her cheer?
Her ability to engage with everyone, her ability... Everyone likes
cheer.
her. Cheer. What do you think I said?
Like cheer, like a chia seed, like a plant.
No, I don't admire... She doesn't have any plants.
Terrible gardener.
Her cheer, her persona, the fact that everyone likes her.
Everyone does like her.
Everyone
Yeah.
becomes her friend.
It's very you'd have to be a monster, I think, to dislike.
Yeah,
Liz.
I don't know anything that you could dislike about Liz.
No, she's basically far too good for you.
Yes, I'd agree.
And I'm saying this to you now.
Thank you. He's looking right at me.
Do not screw this up. She's
For the love of God.
I'm holding him by the lapels now.
Yeah. No, I don't intend to.
No, she's awesome.
And then we'll all be married, you, me, and Nick. Not to each other.
Yeah, we'll finally teach you the secret handshake.
Wow, whee!
You'll get to come to the weekly meetings.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Look at us, eh? Married
Married with actual women
with women. Yeah, with genuine people
who we didn't repulse yet.
Yeah, we've yet to disappoint 100%.
Yeah, exactly. Like most of them, but
We've come close.
you only need one
Yeah,
to actually think you're okay.
yeah. It's basically like life is basically finding one person who'll tolerate you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Tolerate is a base necessity. Like is a plus. Love, now
That's something, innit?
that would be lovely. That'd be nice.
If someone loves you for who you are,
Ah,
you've done all right.
if someone has seen you at your worst,
Yep. Like you have seen me.
I've seen you at your. Well, I have actually seen you. We joke about it. I have actually now seen you at your worst.
Yeah, probably.
Too hot for podcasting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you still love me in a way.
I do. I do. I love you enough to consider calling a paramedic.
But not actually doing it.
No, I love you. I love you enough to shine lights in your eyes to work out if your pupils are responding. Jesus Christ! Oh, it's good to laugh about past trauma.
Yeah, we got through it.
Oh, good for you.
We got through it.
Should I?
You carry on.
Okay, well, that was getting far too.
We're getting very emotional on this.
Well, I'll try.
First, the penalty shootout.
I'll try not to get emotional now as I talk about my love.
Here we go.
I love the Red Bull Soapbox
Oh,
derby.
thank goodness we're not going to get emotional.
Um,
What? Tell me, A, what it is, and B,
You
why.
must.
Well,
know
I
what
can
this is.
imagine it's a go-karting competition of
It is.
sorts down a hill.
So Red Bull have cornered the market in sponsoring ridiculous sports.
Like plane racing.
Well, they do cool stuff like plane racing.
And the guy who jumped from the top of the rocket or whatever.
Yeah, they did the guy did the Felix
That's
Baumgartner.
it.
Yeah, which is insane. And then they also do like the wingsuits.
Yes.
Or the guy who like flew across the channel in basically like a wing strapped to his back and a jet. And then they also do the really stupid kind of challenges
Sure.
where they do the flug tag,
Right.
which is like the flying competition
Okay.
where they find a big body of water. You must have seen this. It's like a Birdman competition. They build like a great big platform above this big body of water.
Right. Oh!
Yeah.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like 20, 30 foot above the water.
Yeah.
The idea is that you build a plane,
Yeah.
quote unquote, a glider, and then a team pushes you off the edge.
Yeah.
And it's
I
how
think
far
maybe-
do you fly?
Maybe I have seen it, yeah.
Now, I think that's amazing. I love it,
Yeah.
but it also kind of like does terrify me a little bit because I'm not good
Well, it should.
I'm not good with heights. So if I was ever going to compete in something, as much as I'd like to do the flug tag,
Yeah.
I don't think I could actually do it. However, we also do the soapbox challenge.
That sounds, slightly better.
And that's basically you have to build an unpowered car.
Yeah.
Like
There's an episode of The Simpsons about it.
Yeah.
When Bart makes one.
Yeah. And like, I think, I don't know what the rules are. Sometimes there's one person in it, sometimes there's two. But it has to be completely unpowered. And then they just, they have a big ramp and they have a course. And it's all just downhill.
Yeah.
And there's like slaloms and a little jump and a ramp and stuff like that.
Sure.
And
Is this on YouTube or something?
there's tons on YouTube.
Right,
Yeah, we
okay.
started watching it on YouTube, and I suddenly realised that like one of my greatest aspirations in life might actually be to be.
Is this like a worldwide thing?
They do. I think they do like. Because they've been doing. I mean, like in Zurich, in Japan, in.
There's a UK version, presumably.
Yeah, there's a London one.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's like.
Was it kids or adults?
No, it's oh god,
It's
no,
adults.
it's grown adults. Yeah, it's kind of amazing that like nobody has. Seriously injured himself,
Perished,
as
yeah.
far as I'm aware, because there's some great compilations of crashes.
Yeah.
But
But they all walk away.
yeah,
theory.
you get scored on creativity, Like how wacky is your car?
Yeah.
You get to do like a little 30-second kind of routine, for lack of a better word, while you're kind of like unveiling your car.
Okay.
So some people do a dance, some people do like weird kind of like skunks and whatever.
Right.
And then I think they grade you on how your car actually does while you're going down the hill.
Right. Okay.
You should get it up on YouTube. Go like Red Bull Soapbox.
After you've looked at the Taskmaster watermelon.
Yes.
And Seinfeld.
This is your homework.
Yeah.
And I kind of think we should do it.
Okay. Done.
I mean, I
don't know how we'd build it.
Well, we work that out.
Yeah. Do we know a mechanic?
I'm a part-time worker. I'm willing to learn.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like we'd be one of the ones that crashed.
But what a way to go.
Yeah, I guess. Didn't we go to somewhere once where your dad worked and they had the robot from Robot Wars there?
Yes. Once upon a time, my dad used to work
That's just popped into my head for some reason.
No, he did, yeah. My dad used to work for British Energy.
Mm.
And at a time when Robot Wars was a cultural phenomenon in the UK.
Robo-Trumble. Oh, sorry. Robot Rumble.
Robo-Trumble.
Robo-Trumble.
A team of people who just so happened to work at British Energy had entered a robot which had done really well.
Yeah.
It was called like Body Hammer or something like that.
It was one of the ones that was like one of the original, like really well-known ones, which I now obviously can't remember.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, oh, it's a father and son team, and they've taken like a little remote control car and put
the bread bin.
Yeah,
with a knife sellotape to it.
Yeah, this was like a proper. It was like a weird, funky wedge shape with like a lever. It was.
I do vaguely recall it.
And I think we went to like and it did really well.
It was really fucking big as well.
Yeah,
I remember it was
They're
massive.
bigger than you think. Yeah. And we went to like the company was doing like a kind of company barbecue or something like that, and you came along, and they had.
I wasn't invited. I just turned up.
Yeah, you were often there in my childhood, and but they had Body Hammer there, or like the shell of it at least,
whatever it was.
But that's the thing. Like, you'd watch Robot Wars as a kid. Yeah. And I assumed they were maybe like a foot across.
Yeah, it was massive.
Because you've got no frame of reference. You just get this battle arena. You can't see anything. And...
I remember it being really big.
Yeah. Like it was much bigger than you think.
But you always think watching those kind of shows, oh, I could do that. I could make one of those. You can't. Unless you actually have a specialty.
I feel...
Or you're willing to learn, as you say.
I don't think I could ever build, say, a robot.
No.
In the same way as Robot Wars. I don't have those skills. But I feel...
Soapbox Derby.
I feel that's more in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. See, I'm imagining a giant Red Bull can.
I think it's been done.
Wheels. Yeah.
I think it's been done. That's the problem.
With wheels on it.
Well, here's the thing. There seem to be two schools of thought. And I need to do research because I imagine competition is fierce to actually get into it.
The engineers.
But like, I don't think you have to be particularly skilled.
Right.
Because as evidenced by the fact, I think there's a lot of idiots who just do it.
Sure.
You're not meant to be good. You're just meant to be entertaining.
Okay.
So I think
that might stand us in good stead.
I think when you enter, you have to make a kind of pitch as to what your kind of gimmick is going to be.
Right.
Now, there seem to be a lot of teams that have like... It's almost like... I wonder if you can buy it. There seems to be... You can buy like a chassis.
Yeah.
So it's maybe, I don't know, 4 foot wide, maybe like 5-6 foot long.
Yeah.
It's got 4 wheels and like a metal frame, and it's kind of flat. And then they kind of build the car on top of it.
Okay.
And then others, they seem to have like bicycle wheels. So
it's just a bicycle with a shell bit around it.
There's a couple that have just looked like bicycles, but I'll show you some when we're done recording.
Yeah.
But like, there's some that seem to be like, it's 4 squat wheels, like a go-kart.
Right.
And others, it's like, it's 4 big bicycle wheels.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is, you don't want bicycle wheels.
Okay.
Because it seems like the moment you do like a jump and you land, those wheels just crumple.
Oh.
Like, we saw some pretty spectacular crashes, actually.
Yeah. See, I would go down the aerodynamic route. But then I might be wrong.
Well, I know you're an engineer at heart, you know.
I don't even know what that word means. But I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong.
Yeah.
I might not know what I'm talking about. All of my reference with regards to that competition is The Simpsons going down a hill.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. I think you'd want...
I'm sure I'm very wrong.
I'd want a bit of speed.
Yeah.
I feel like you're only going to get to do that once.
Yeah.
You're going to want to do it fast.
Do you have to nominate a pilot?
Well, some cars have 2 people in,
Right.
but it's a bigger team.
Yeah.
Like the team might have helped build it. They do like a weird little routine, and then they push it. You're allowed to have people like kind of give you a cool
you
running
need a
kind
shove,
of
yeah.
to kind of like
Absolutely.
get you off the edge. But again, I imagine like you look at it, you see the footage, and you're like, oh, they don't seem to be going that fast.
But they are.
But I reckon if you're in it, you're like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Things always look less impressive on the telly, I think. If you look at even like a scenery, like a backdrop, like a landscape, you look at it on a photograph or on the telly and you think, oh, that looks pretty cool. But then when you see it in person, you're like, holy shit, that's incredible. It's the same as Robot Wars scale. It's the same as Soapbox Derby speed. One would imagine.
well, nothing's real on television.
No.
Isn't
there you
it?
go.
Even
We're having so many existential crises this evening.
whatever you see, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't feel like
Jesus
it's actually
Christ.
happening. Yeah.
We need Nick back, don't we?
Yeah, he was never really in the real world. He always kind of kept it like
We need someone who doesn't live quite so relentlessly in the real world as we do.
we need a guy who'll see the zip line of life. And we'll just go for it.
That's a metaphor, isn't it?
We need a guy who will ignore the conspicuous pool of like black rope.
Didn't even look.
Didn't even look. God bless him. He's just not got a care in the world. Yeah,
Just went.
and we'll always remember him. In that moment. So yeah, that's that would be one of my lifetime goals. I reckon
Okay.
we should do
That's achievable.
a show called Hate Team
Should we record whilst we're on the...
going down.
Yeah.
That could be our table. Our cart could be a table on wheels
Yeah.
with podcasting equipment.
We could do that. And that would be our gimmick.
We can make it happen.
These guys are going to podcast whilst they go down.
That's the kind of gimmick. Because it's not about being good. It's about having a gimmick.
Yeah. That could be our gimmick.
You've got to make it stand out.
We're going to record our podcast.
Yeah.
That'd be good for listener numbers, probably.
And yeah, we'll definitely get like one,
Yeah. At least.
maybe less.
Maybe.
Maybe less. Well, look, I feel I'm going to ask because I have to because we never deviate from the format.
No,
but
I love the format. It's great.
What do you think won? Love or hate?
Well, I'm going to have to say love, aren't I? This
Well, that's
time.
unfair.
For the first time in a while, I think I'm going to have to say love.
Your heart has grown by.
My heart has grown, although not physically, because that would be very dangerous. But my heart has grown metaphorically.
Metaphorically, yeah.
Yeah, only metaphorically.
Yeah, I guess love.
It's
Why
going to have
not?
to be, otherwise we're tied.
I guess love.
We've never had a tie before.
I have to believe in the likelihood that you're going to get married.
Yeah.
And I'm one day
It's,
going to...
I mean, it's pretty strong likelihood.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're at a crossroads here, and we've chosen the path where you get married,
Yeah.
and I get to ride a Red Bull.
Good. I think
soapbox
this
down
is
hill.
the right side of reality.
Yeah.
I think we've done well.
So by the time we get to episode 200, we're going to be.
I'm not going to have the energy for that. Jesus.
We're going to be in traction, and we're going to be talking about our soapbox.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be a good way to celebrate.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. Wait. So I mean, this is going to come out next week, and you're getting married. So yeah. By the time next episode comes out,
By the time the next episode comes out, the next time we record the next episode,
you're going to be well married.
I'm going to be so married, you're not even going to see it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be
That's
amazing.
going to be great.
Yeah. Do you have any advice to like your future married self to see us off?
Don't screw it up. You'll be fine. And to advice to the single people who are worried they'll be single forever, you'll probably be okay. I can't guarantee it, but I'm sure with a bit of effort, you'll be fine.